Okay, what the fuck? I'm starting out hot here. That was looping. That was looping the entire time.
I don't know what was going on. I just saw the comments popping up, and I was like, I guess everyone saw me just having the time of my life, living my best life.
Oh, wow. My camera is glitch.
Are we having technical difficulties?
Lawrence's. Now we can't hear you, Lawrence. You know, this is just going to be the Blair brunch because Zach just disappeared. Lawrence, pet's heads are falling off. So I'm just going to sit here and chat because I guess that's what I'm going to do. So while I'm gone, here we are. I'm back. Oh my God.
Hello.
They're back again.
What's going on? What happened?
Oh, I don't know. It's like everything that can go wrong is going wrong.
Okay.
Chaos.
Okay, well, I'm here to restore order.
I appreciate you coming to save the day, Zach.
It's what I do. It's what I do here on Love Wrestling.
Well, you're just the best.
Thank you, my friend. I feel like calling it the best brunch ever. I'm really missing something here.
The intro screen, I guess, wasn't looped, so everybody saw me and Lawrence just vibing away to the upbeat hits that he had. Which I assume was on Jock Jams 14.
Oh,
and yeah, we're just having the best day ever today. So we're just going with it. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we get DMCA'd?
I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm just gonna Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Well, Spencer's in the chat. He can let us know if whatever jams you were listening to violated YouTube's terms of service. So things happen.
I think it was one of the ones on the okay, they couldn't hear the music. I could hear the music. So.
Okay. Yeah. Marvelous. Excellent. Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
We're getting clarity on this.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. You well. Yeah, it's been busy a little bit, so I try to pop on when I can and had some time today. So I was like, I'm going to make sure my very bright face shows up. Hi, Lawrence.
Hello? Can't hear you, buddy. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
I can't hear a goddamn thing now.
We can hear you.
Well, we can hear you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Lawrence, it hasn't been 10 minutes.
Damn.
And there goes the monetization on this one.
It's okay. We ruined it yesterday with 4 exposure too, because I dropped a F-bomb like 6 minutes in too, and just didn't even think about it. So
I think we need a swear jar. I think we've joked about it. I think we need to have a swear jar every time it gets like $10. We'll like throw it at the Trevor Project or another worthy cause or something.
You know what? I think that's viable. If I swear in the first 10 minutes of a show, I will super chat it for the money to go towards that, even if it's a couple dollars.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little more behind the scenes, but I think we can get something formal, something fun, and something for a good cause.
Heck yeah.
Has conversation started yet? Have we?
No, we haven't talked about anything.
Okay,
it's been chaos.
Fair. You know what? We're a week away from Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. Which, obviously, of course, we're talking, we've got the big pub crawl happening in Toronto, the day of Money in the Bank happening across the city. And we're going to be on a bus with Jody Threat, Party with Love Wrestling and Jody. And again, it's going to be bar to bar to pub, all the way to the Scotiabank, just in time for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So if you're going to be in Toronto for the event, please check us out at Tixar.com/Love Wrestling. You can get your tickets there. It guarantees you a place on the bus. We're hitting Sneaky D's. We're hitting the Tiki Bar. We're hitting, of course, our story partners at the Rec Room. It's going to be a very good time. Very good time.
Heck yeah. I'm excited for you guys. I think there's a lot going on in the city. And, I mean, when you're with good friends, you're watching wrestling. I mean, what more could you ask for? So, I mean, like, it's going to be a blast. I'm disappointed I won't be there, but I know you guys will make all of us proud and have the time of your lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great night. Aside from the pub crawl, the pay-per-view is going to be great. Again, I'm excited about ladder matches, but Blair, I got to tell you.
Yes.
I'm done with the Money in the Bank concept. I'm fed up.
Okay, I will ask you this. What would you like in its place to have that cash in if they're not going to do like a briefcase? Would you just like the knowledge of them being available to, or would you like something different in its place?
I do not want a cash in. I want the cash in system to be abolished. The fact that it started in WWE and it's broken containment, every promotion has its variant of the great Lawrence. We're covering for Lawrence's swear jar for this episode.
It doesn't count if I can hear myself curse. Suck it, YouTube.
Oh, and I did. Well, there we go. I got to make up for yesterday's too.
1.2 million.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go.
Lawrence, I was just grumbling about Money in the Bank. Not the wrestlers, not the experience we're going to happen next weekend, but the cash-in system. I'm done with it.
I love it. I love no one knows exactly when it's going to happen. Like I enjoy the unpredictability of the cash-in.
Like, how do you feel about it, Blair?
I think it can be a very good tool to be used properly if it's used properly. Mm-hmm. I think there has been enough occasions where it almost gets forgotten about and it loses a bit of the luster. But like, they've done things the same for so long where, they'll kind of tease it and they'll have the ref play like bumbling fool with like, are you sure you want to cash in? Well, obviously they want to cash in. The person that has the title is KO'd on the ground. So like, little things like that, I think you've seen the differences with WWE. If they could like kind of adapt to that as well, they could make it a very viable use, but I don't think we're ever going to get to that. It's just going to be another tool. And, I can understand the disdain towards it after this many years of the Money in the Bank.
I have so much disdain for it that I had to just go ahead and sorry, the computer, there's supposed to be just breaking the drama here. Here we go. I had to put together a tier list. We're going to have this discussion. We are going to tier all of the Money in the Bank cash-ins. Now, for the sake of this exercise, I'm asking everyone to put their feelings aside for the wrestlers. Maybe your favorite cashed in and like you're celebrating them. That's totally understandable. But I think we have to be honest about the quality of the cash-in, how memorable it was, how creative it was. Let's have an honest discussion about this. Okay. So I'm gonna try to go.
Is this men's and women's cash-ins?
It's all the cash-ins. Okay. This should be 30 some odd pictures. And I've got the list here in case I forget the chronological order. We are going to start with the first one, which I think by many estimates and metrics is the best one. Edge cashing in on John Cena. The concept of Money in the Bank was brand new. No one knew how it would happen. And like everyone just assumed he would show up. He says, I'm going to have my match with John Cena at the next pay-per-view. But no, he shows up after John Cena fights in the Elimination Chamber, fights for his life, and boom, cashes in and made a star that night.
I will be honest with some of my knowledge on this, that there was a time where I was checked out of wrestling. So I will keep it to what I have seen. And the Edge one was a long time ago, and I remember very little about it. But I do remember it being very, very incredible at the time. So I'm leaning towards it being in the good to excellent range, but I could be persuaded elsewhere.
Yeah, I believe like this one fairly can easily be in the excellent range to good. Like I think it could easily be an excellent.
I think so as well.
Because like Edge was the perfect man to do that too.
Mm-hmm. And it was something different at the time, and just the overall, like the fans hadn't yet really turned on Cena, if I remember correctly. So there was still a lot of love for him. So I think that's solid.
Solid choice. I'm glad we're in league about this one. Before we continue, I do want to shout out Boris SNL Saturday Night Love happening from Big Bad Boris headquarters. Had a great time visiting the show. Boris, you put an excellent show together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward on Saturday night. So thanks for bringing that to our Twitch machine here on Love Wrestling, bud. Okay. Next up, the next cash in, also Edge, who who didn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase at the pay-per-view, but went on to defeat Mr. Kennedy and use his briefcase to cash in on The Undertaker. How are we feeling about this one?
Didn't even know this one happened.
Yeah. This was like in my wrestling blind spot.
Fair. I don't think it was bad. I think it was still cool, but like, you know, we saw Edge the previous year. It lost a little luster there.
Yeah.
After that, who's next? I think it's Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam is next, I believe. Yes, Money in the Bank, cashing in an ECW one night stand. That one was electric too. I mean, like the ECW pay per view.
Yeah, I could excellent that.
Yeah, I put that excellent because it's all like there's another one on there, which I'd say the same thing, but it was a great babyface use of the still using the guaranteed opportunity, but not necessarily stealing. That's offside. Not necessarily. I'm going to wait for VAR on that one. England just scored. They may have tied it up 1-1 with Slovakia in the 49th minute. But yes, what I was saying, he gave John Cena the month and set up and basically made that pay-per-view and made one of the best moments, like one of my all-time favorite wrestling moments of like that John Cena walking to the ring and just the nuclear crowd constantly throwing Cena's shirt back, like the juxtaposition, and that was all set up by him saying, I'm definitely cashing in at one night stand. This is not going to be a secret. I'm giving you the month. So he gives his opponent time as a babyface and has a full match. Like excellent use. Made a pay-per-view, made one of the greatest moments ever. I definitely love this one.
Yeah, and I do think the Money in the Bank with the ability to cash in, I think it's something that, you know, like a wrestler should be. You could have them be like, no, I wanted to main event a pay-per-view. Like, why would they not be like, no, Survivor Series, I'm cashing in. So like call your shot early and then you get the glitz, the glamour, you get that main event type aura for your match. So like I love the announcing when you're cashing in.
By the way, I was right. It was offside. The goal has come off the board. It's still 1-0 Slovakia in a massive upset. That's how good of a ref I am. I've got eyes, baby. Fuck VAR. I know it before VAR.
Yes, but do they have a Money in the Bank cash-in system happening?
They do. This is how the Italians plan on winning, even though they were eliminated yesterday for being a bad soccer team and playing boring soccer. They will cash in. Oh!
Well, next up, chronologically cashing in is CM Punk. This happened on Monday Night Raw. Edge came out, cut a promo, and got beaten down by Batista and I think two other people. And then CM Punk comes out and makes the cash in. Omar, thanks for popping in. And anyone who's watching live, please weigh in on these cash-ins. Of course, this is all subjective. You know, we're starting with some good ones, I think, but as the list goes on, I believe my own picks will be deteriorating. But CM Punk cashing in on Edge on Raw. What do we think, friends?
I was checked out.
You were checked out?
Yeah.
Lawrence?
I like the CM Punk. Like, he's got a few of them. Like, he like Edge was somebody who this was definitely like one of the people you associate with when you think Money in the Bank. Like, him and Edge are the two that come up that are like intrinsically tied to that thing with their cash-ins. Like, this was a little bit of a blind spot for me. I liked it because I liked CM Punk I like CM Punk, but it wasn't like monumental.
Yeah, I think this one hovers in the good category as well. So let's stick it there. Omar, we're bringing up his cash in on Jeff, which is of course next after Jeff and Edge went to war in a TLC match. CM Punk came out and called his shot. This is another one I'm going to lean towards excellent because not only was it a cash in, but it was like the first time someone turned heel by cashing in. Yes, there was still a little bit of like CM Punk playing babyface, but you do something bad to Jeff Hardy at that time, like you're a bad guy. There's no bones about it. Mm-hmm. Blind spot, Blair?
Yep.
I remember this one because I watched it like later on. Yeah, I really like this one. This was well played. This is the one like I'm thinking when you're thinking CM Punk cash-ins. This is probably the first one you think of. Is him going over Jeff Hardy. This is definitely a classic one.
Yeah, I'm putting that one in the excellent tier as well. After the pair of CM Punks, what's next? Jack Swagger,
Oh no!
classic swags.
No.
Which is there it is. Cashing in on Jericho shortly after WrestleMania. This is the first venture into the bad category, perhaps
Yeah.
even awful.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
got
guys
nothing
think?
for this one.
Yeah, like,
The next one that I remember seeing was Del Rio's, so I know there's a little bit of a gap there.
Oh well, yeah, but it's not so far off. Like
No.
once we get to the pay per view, these cash-ins are happening in pairs essentially.
Mhm.
What do you say, Lawrence?
sorry. Yeah, I'm putting it as like bad to awful. It didn't really do much for him. Like it was like they knew they needed to put the world title on him because like he was one of their top guys at the time, but they were going to put the WWE, like it was like sort of like the next step because they didn't have much to do with Jack Swagger at that point. And like it didn't like I feel at the end of the day it was just like to give him a world title, and nothing much. Like it didn't do much for the world title, didn't do much for the cash in.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. They just rushed it for some, like it was weird to put the briefcase on him in the first place, and they just speed ran that cash in, and it did not work. It did not work. Next up is the first time that the Money in the Bank becomes its own pay-per-view. We've got two briefcases on the line. It's Raw. They're both for the men's, one on Raw, one on SmackDown. We're going to start with Kane, who cashes in the very same night against Rey Mysterio, which honestly, I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's the forgot category right there.
If you would have told me Kane won a Money in the Bank, I would have told you you're a liar.
Yeah. So, first venture into the forgotten. The next step is The Miz cashing in on Randy Orton after holding onto the briefcase for a good long while. Randy Orton was beaten down by the Nexus. Defended against Wade Barrett successfully, and then The Miz called his shot after the match.
That all sounds terrible.
Tell us how you really feel, Blair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because I checked in after the whole Nexus bit, so I'm thankful I missed that.
Fair enough. Lawrence?
Yeah, I'd put it like I'd say like saying bad is a little rough, but like I think bad is probably the like category to put in, but like it also led to a great like WrestleMania like moment for him with Cena and him beating Cena. Like it led to a good decent title run, but yeah, I think it goes to bad 'cause it's not like one of the more memorable ones you would have.
This is when like Money in the Bank starts falling into like a bit of a paint by numbers. Like cash-ins start to kind of all look alike and they all kind of blend together. Certainly, like you said, Lawrence, they took the time to invest in the Miz and they tried to make something happen. Born out of this cash-in, but the cash-in itself, I think, kind of like meh. Maybe. I think I needed another category, something that's just like neutral ground. This might have been a little more neutral. Can I add one? I don't know how to add a category, so I'm not going to. Next up, after Miz and Kane, we've got Daniel Bryan and Alberto Del Rio. Honestly, like, again, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, favorite wrestler. I'm trying to remember who he cashed in on.
Was that on Mark Henry?
He cashed in on Mark Henry once,
because this is like I don't remember this at all, but I remember him cashing in, but I just don't remember who it was against, and I can't remember if this was Del Rio, if he had won multiple times, or if this was the only one he won.
This is the only briefcase that Danielson won. Mm-hmm. But he tried to cash in once. These pop-up ads are terrible. I apologize. He tried to cash in on Mark Henry, but for some reason Teddy Long just abandoned all the logic of the briefcase and said, no, Mark Henry was hurt. He couldn't compete. So, no, it gives him back the briefcase and everything. It was either Mark Henry or the Big Show that he cashed in on. But honestly, it's crazy how forgettable this was.
Yeah. So I think that's as sad as that is. It's a testament to the cash in that maybe it should be a forgot, even though it is Danielson.
Yeah, I'm kind of in league with that. Lawrence?
Yeah, I agree with forgot.
And I hate that, but because I love Danielson, but like completely forgot. Can't recall any of it.
Yeah, everyone like remembers like that title win at Mania. No one like really first things that come to mind is this title win.
Well, much like The Miz, it had a great title reign because he was doing the whole. That was when like yes and no was really catching fire, and he was a great bad guy.
Yeah, that's when he lost to Sheamus in like 5 seconds of Mania, right? That title run.
And that sucked.
Yeah, no one liked that. Neither one of them and anyone else.
Next up, I think like the less said about this one, the better. Alberto Del Rio cashing in after champion versus champion, Cena versus CM Punk. The whole Kevin Nash texted himself nonsense. And
awful,
memorable, but awful. I don't think Lawrence is going to object to that one.
Nope.
Marvelous. Okay, next up we've got Ziggler and we've got Cena. So let's start with Ziggler because that one, I think that one was pretty good. Like at the very least,
I would excellent that one because the pop for that one was ridiculous.
Yeah,
and the people actually thought that it might not happen after Del Rio kind of kicked out, and you get everyone thinking like maybe we're not going to get this cash in, and then it actually happens. You have Ziggler out there with Big E and AJ Lee, and it was like. Hell yeah. I love that cash in. One of my favorite of all time.
Yeah. Everything you just said, Blair, I'm completely in league with, along with like the electric post-WrestleMania crowd. That one's excellent because it's that one stands the test of time, I think. Who did John Cena, right. Okay, excuse the thumbnail. I didn't realize I wouldn't be centered, but on one half you have Cena saying he's going to face CM Punk the next week. And the match happens, and the Big Show runs in, and the match is thrown out as disqualification. This awful, right?
Yeah.
Like Cena was the first guy to quote unquote lose. Should have been the first guy to lose their Money in the Bank privilege, but he won by disqualification. So it was like he didn't win, he didn't lose, he was neither. It was just like such a nothing cash in on Raw 1000.
Yeah, absolutely.
John Cena is involved in the next cash in as it was an attempt on him. It was the following year. Damien Sandow trying to cash in on John Cena. Another bad one, guys.
Yeah.
I'd bad that one.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd go as far as awful because I mean, it was clear there was no plans for Sandow, and they just like threw it away as quickly as they could.
Yeah, there's a few of those in there where like they tried to pounce on somebody that was hot and like give him something, but then had no plan going forward, especially when it comes to like the heavyweight title. Like they had no plans to put the heavyweight title on him.
Yeah,
like it just sucks.
Yeah, I got to agree. Next up. The confetti has fallen for Daniel Bryan. He's won the world championship at SummerSlam over John Cena. And out comes Randy Orton. And, of course, special guest referee turns on Daniel Bryan, and Orton cashes in. I open up the floor.
Like, I get why they had this. Like, as a fan, I hated it, obviously, because I wanted to see Danielson successful. I want to see a long title reign, but like you could make an argument for it to be a good one just to get the fans hating on Orton more. But I could also say it's bad because it kind of like you get so many of those where they like, you get a little nibble of what you really want and they yank it back and you don't get that full enjoyment. So it could be either good or bad for this one.
Lawrence?
Yeah, I put it as good solely like because it's one of those things where as a fan in the moment you hated it
Yeah.
because like you thought, and I remember I was at a party at the time, so I wasn't even watching the pay-per-view, but I was getting like seeing the tweets up to the minute and like having friends celebrate Daniel Bryan winning and just like, oh no, oh god, no, no, no,
Lawrence
no.
bragging about having friends and going to a party.
Yeah.
Jerk.
I'm sorry, I don't speak nerd. Can somebody translate what he just said? Anyone in the
1011011101.
Yeah, I think Orton ekes by as good, but not exceedingly.
Yeah.
And this one, oh man, if I had a higher tier than excellent, Edge would be there, and this one would be there. Seth Rollins cashing in the heist of the century, WrestleMania 31. Excellent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
I 100% saw this coming. I remember like that was my like WrestleMania prediction. I'm like, I think he's cashing in that night. And the fact that like I think Roman said they didn't know about it beforehand. Like they like found out that day, I think that he was going to cash in was like, but it was like absolutely perfectly played. Like that's how that is supposed to work. Yeah, they built it up for a while with him having that like once again like the horribly beaten up briefcase after having it for months and using it as a weapon constantly and like teasing cash-ins and like it made Seth Rollins that night like that like Seth Rollins' career took the massive trajectory and like for like a star, one of the bona fide stars of today. This was like the moment. This was his massive WrestleMania moment. So yeah, this is like one of the best all time cash-ins.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with you 100%. Next up, Sheamus cashing in after the title was vacated after Seth Rollins got injured. World Championship Tournament finals were Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Roman Reigns holds the title for the first time for only minutes as Sheamus comes out and cashes in. How do we feel about that one?
Awful. Or forget, because I forgot that he was at the briefcase. That was such a dark period for WWE that like it was bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Like
where are you standing, Lawrence? Forgotten, awful.
I'd probably put it off like I still vaguely remember it, so like it's not entirely forgotten. But yeah, it wasn't a great cash in. Like I think everyone there deserved better in the long run.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But it does inform my next talking point on the next cash in for Dean Ambrose cashing in on Seth Rollins. What makes this very cool is, of course, Seth Rollins pinned Roman Reigns to become WWE champion at WrestleMania. He gets injured, title is vacated, the tournament happens. Roman Reigns pins Dean Ambrose to become the world champion. Then, a few months later, Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns, becomes champion for a few minutes. Dean Ambrose cashes in. Every single member of the Shield won the world championship by beating another member of the Shield. Incredibly cool. I'm giving this one a good. It was a good moment, but not excellent.
Yeah, like to have all the member of the Shield that night be world champion was a very cool moment, and for like one of the like a not the best period in WWE's history, a like very cool through line. Like they obviously, if it wasn't like blatantly obvious, like they invest a lot of money in those three, and like they knew those three are going to be their biggest stars, and they like showed it that night that they are all heavyweight champion material, and it was a very cool moment to watch. Like you weren't sure what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Blair, I know you got places to be, so I'm going to try to blitz through the rest of these.
That's okay. I'm going to stick around because there's one that I have a lot to say about, and I know it's coming up soon, so I'm sticking around till that one, then I'm peacing out.
Okay, sounds good. Good. Next up, we finally introduced the women's briefcase. So the first to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase is Carmella.
Keep moving that up. Keep moving it up.
Yeah.
Keep moving it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I agree.
Excellent.
It was such a good cash-in. Everything about it. It is one of my favorite cash-ins of all time, and I was waiting for this one before I left because I loved everything about it. You had the Iconics debuting, and then all of a sudden Carmella comes to cash in winning the title off Charlotte Flair, incredible.
Like that was what what this is supposed to do. Is it 100% made a star.
Yeah.
Like it made Carmella's career. Like no, it was like somebody who you, especially at that point, you didn't think would be a women's champion or wouldn't be that level, because like there was a clear distinction between like the sort of four horsewomen in that group and everyone else who like you sort of like you didn't see anyone else like coming for Charlotte Flair, like winning in a 1-on-1 match and using the briefcase for Carmella. Absolutely made her. It also made the, like you just said, the Iconics that night, who you've been like waiting to see. Like this was a fun cash in and like a very definitely memorable moment. I like 100% agree with Blair.
Yeah, the worst thing about the cash in was that it ultimately led to like her and Ellsworth getting paired up, which I thought did more damage than anything.
Yeah,
but
that was stupid.
Yeah, the cash in for Carmella was great, and I loved everything about it. I thought that her without Ellsworth would have been much better, but 100% incredible cash in.
I loved the referee in this, like he just drew it out for some reason.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god, they're so, I hate those.
Goddamn
so
Mike Chioda.
Yeah, but like honestly, it was almost like he was like bringing up like he was making an excuse to like talk to her. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was asking like how she felt about the pay-per-view the night before or something like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we have to go through all the fine print of this contract in here. That's not definitely just a sandwich. There's a real contract in here.
Are you sure you want to cash in like 8 times? And it's like, what do you think? She's laid out here. No, I don't want to cash in.
I think there was even one part where like Kyoto like turns around, goes towards the timekeeper, then turns back one last time to Carmella. And just lost it.
He's like, he forgets that he asks, and he's about to like walk out of the ring. He's just like, oh yeah, there's a match. Yeah, I'll ring the bell.
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm peacing out. I'm going to make sure I don't hit end stream, but I'll remove myself and. You guys have a good rest of the show. It was nice seeing everybody. So enjoy the rest of the tier list. Okay. Peace out, fellas.
Cheers, dude.
Bye.
Oh man. Next. So Spencer, I hope you were watching. That's how you leave a stream without killing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, sad Baron Corbin.
Oh, that one's bad or awful.
Yeah.
Like, especially at that point, like Baron, no one was into Baron Corbin. Even as like a heel, people really didn't sort of like dig him, or like his gimmick wasn't working. And to have him lose the cash in, which like I get, like sometimes people are gonna lose the cash in, especially there's like sort of like a streak of them for the male ones, where like over a few years it happened quite a few times. But like the whole thing just didn't work. There's like another one there's a couple of them coming up that like just for me just did not work.
Yeah, I had to like rack my brain. I forgot who he even tried to cash in on, but eventually if I like, oh yeah, it was Jinder.
Was Jinder Mahal?
He tried to cash in on Jinder, yeah.
Oh, God,
and again, can't cash in on Jinder Mahal, man. That's I like Jinder. I like Baron Corbin, but this was not a good time for the both of them, for either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who we got next? We've got Team Little Big, Alexa Bliss cashing in, and Braun Strowman cashing in. I am trying to remember who. No, I know who she cashed in because she's in the thumbnail. She attacks Ronda Rousey and succeeds in cashing in. I don't know. What do you guys really want to critique my production?
Okay, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I swear to God, it was. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That was something with my computer. It was whatchamacallit. I had everything set up perfectly. I was here early. Had it looping. It still said loop. I don't know when I walked away or what people saw, but it was on loop. I couldn't have done anything else. And then my computer just shit the bed. Like that's not on me. Yeah.
The computer fucked on you.
I'm telling you, it's the Wyatt Six. They're coming for me.
Okay. Yes, Alexa Bliss cashing in on Ronda. How do we feel about this one? I'm like,
I would put it either bad or good. like again, like that's a little like I like
It's
Alexa
just
Bliss, and it was like it's also an interesting thing that like the people Alexa Bliss have beaten, and the fact I think she was like one of the like few people that beat Ronda, especially at that point, like multiple times. But
uh,
yeah,
I can't do it, man.
yeah, all right, fair.
Yeah, I like Alexa Bliss, and I was happy to see her succeed. But again, this was just now we're really starting to see a very paint by numbers formula for Money in the Bank,
Yeah,
and this just kind of did that. Baron Corbin tries to cash in. He stakes his claim he's gonna be at a pay per view, but I'm racking my brain. I don't remember this at all.
neither do I. I've,
Monster in the. I remember him
yeah,
defending the briefcase against Kevin Owens, and that
yeah,
would have been great. But alas, he got thrown off the cage, and yeah,
yeah.
the rest is history. Bailey, who cashed in the very night she won.
This was dope. I remember this. This was a lot of fun. I definitely popped for Bailey winning the title and winning it that night.
I thought I had a picture of Bailey here, but it is not there. So you're saying that's a good one?
Yeah,
Again, I love Bailey. I'm happy for her, but I would have put this elsewhere. I would have put this in bad because man, it was just like she held the briefcase for less than 2 hours, and again, the same category, same thing as the Alexa Bliss cash in. That's
I see it. I don't mind it 'cause it makes sense. Like if you win the thing, you're like a lot of people. It's all about strategy, and you saw like, oh, why would I hold on to this when I've got the opportunity right now? Or like there's one later on, especially where people were getting on him because like he passed up a whole bunch of opportunities before finally winning the title. Like you see your shot, you take it immediately. Like I don't
fair.
mind like same night cash-ins, and it was like a well-deserved win for Bailey. Like then the crowd popped for it. It's like I remember that. That was a fun one.
Fair.
Yeah,
Okay, so if I had the thumbnail, I apologize that I don't. I would have put this one in the
yeah,
good. I disagree, but your
yeah.
argument is compelling. Next one, I'm just throwing it right into awful. Brock Lesnar cashing in on Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, terrible. Fuck that.
Infuriating.
Yeah,
Like,
uh,
okay. Like, I don't want to like speak too much about Brock Lesnar if I don't have to. But like at that time, as long as Kofi could have just put up a fight, I would have been
yeah,
fine with this. But what an insult.
yeah. That was like they. It didn't. It's still one of my favorite all-time WrestleMania moments. Like that match with
Yeah.
that, like, and the run he had, and like him going back to Ghana with the title, and just like the few months where he had it, like it was a special time, and to just like absolutely bury him like that, and just like make him look stupid, and like never really getting his shot back at Brock Lesnar. It just sucks all the way around. Like Kofi 100% deserved better. He did a lot for that title when he had it. It meant a lot to a lot of people.
Here's
Like,
Bailey.
yeah, it meant a lot to a lot of people. It was a stupid move just to pop a rating on their new SmackDown Live. Like I think that was the debut of SmackDown Live, if I'm not mistaken, or like the
Yeah, on
premiere, the
Fox or
season
something.
premiere.
And then they brought out another MMA fighter who Brock had a history with, and that became a nothing thing.
Yeah,
And then we enter the pandemic, and
yeah.
we had the Money in the Bank at WWE headquarters. Winning the women's briefcase was Asuka.
This was just a sweet moment. Oh
Hold
wait, no,
on,
it wasn't Kofi. That was
Brock didn't
a
cash in on Kofi? Yes, he
no.
did.
No, I think that was just a preordained like match.
No, he exchanged his briefcase for that thing.
Wait, was it like the like boombox briefcase?
Yeah, Spencer, if you can challenge, if you can fact check that, I'm sure you'll find your results in league with mine. But yeah, Brock cashed in on Seth Rollins. No, he didn't. He did.
Yeah,
Okay, so can we call Brock Lesnar cashing in on Seth
Forgotten.
Rollins to be forgotten?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so sure.
Yeah.
Spencer, you got me. You got me. Completely forgot about that. Oh, well, hey, what can you do? Are we sure?
Yeah, I think he's right. I remember, like this, I said, I remember it was Kofi was announced in advance. I just don't remember if it was like he announced he's going to cash in on him.
I gotta cash in. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shoot. Well, I feel like yes, he cashed in at Extreme Rules or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. Too late. Too late. The beers I've already verified. So we're moving Seth Rollins being cashed in on by Brock Lesnar to the forgotten category by the very nature of what happened here. Yeah, Asuka cashing in. Again, you couldn't have scripted this. This would, I mean, well, you did script it, but like the circumstances you scripted it around, you couldn't really come up with on your own. That one's good.
Yeah.
And then the Miz's second cash in after defeating Money in the Bank, and this was just a precursor to Bobby Lashley getting the championship. But the cash in itself, Lawrence.
Yeah, I put that bad or awful, just because like the whole run up with that with Otis's contract.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah, like the fact he won the contract in a fake court case, like against Otis. Which, like, I think it led to a match where he eventually lost the thing. The whole thing was dumb. Like, it, again, like, it looks like they're setting up making Otis. Like, wow, this is surprising. I didn't see this coming. But they're just hopping on something that was hot at the time when they're desperate, like, grasping at straws during the pandemic. And, like, they didn't do anything with him. It made sort of Otis look dumb and made the briefcase itself look dumb.
I think Spencer's a little bit behind in the broadcast. Like, yes, we know you're right. We verified it, Spencer. We're past that. Nikki Ash cashing in the very night. I couldn't tell you who she cashed in on.
Yeah, I'd probably put it bad, not awful, but like, or probably forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, afraid to say. Love Nikki, especially love what she's doing now, but no, that didn't do it for me. I did not expect this tier list to go as long as it did, but we are almost done, friends. Big E cashing in.
I put that as excellent. Like for this was the one I was talking about earlier. That another one of like great baby face use. Called his shot that night. Like tweeted out, "I'm cashing in the Money in the Bank." Gave the guy forewarning, and like I'm gonna do this night. I'm gonna win the title. Like it definitely brought in excitement. You weren't like 100% sure if he was going to do it like earlier in the show or later. And when he won, that was a massive moment. And like I'm so happy it happened, seeing like where we're probably not going to see Big E wrestle again.
I know.
And the fact that he had this moment, so well deserved to hold that heavyweight title. Like this was a massive moment, and like it worked out perfectly for him to like use it to cash in the same night, so it didn't like fully sneak attack his guy, and just being like, yeah, I want my match. This is the way I'm gonna get my title match. And like one of my favorite like moments the last few years was Big E winning the title. So yeah, this for me goes excellent.
Fair enough. I would put it good, but like once again, you've compelled me to put it one tier up. Maggie, you're up. This is you're right. This is something we need to remedy. I can't really guarantee I'll be around for next week's brunch because again, Lawrence and we're gonna be in Toronto, and lots of moving parts that we have to kind of sort out. Not sure what's gonna happen with brunch next week, but Maggie, let's right this wrong. Let's have you back on in the very, very near future. We miss you.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. And if you have any thoughts on our Money in the Bank cash in tier, please weigh in. Next up, we've got Liv Morgan. She's cropped out of this little thumbnail here. I couldn't tell you who she cashed in on.
Uh, wasn't another save night one?
It was. I mean,
Yeah, most of the women's are
yeah.
like,
Carmella, I think, held it the longest. Carmella or Io?
yeah, I think Io held it the longest. Io this year sent the record, or last year.
Here we go. Ronda Rousey.
Rousey. Yeah,
So wait, Liv and Alexa Bliss both cashed in on Ronda Rousey. Okay, that's
yeah,
interesting. Oh yes, then they had the fabled rematch the following pay per view.
yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about the cash in?
I'd put it like good. I think, like, I like I could be compelled to put it to bad, but like, I remember in the moment I was happy with her cashing in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people who I'm putting in like the lesser categories are still people that I like to see succeed. Just the circumstances they're cashing. Again, paint by numbers, man. That's my issue with this briefcase. I'll put it at good, but it's not one I
Yeah,
think of. Carmella held it the longest. Io is second. Thank you,
okay.
Spencer. Who is next? Next is, oh boy, Austin Theory.
Yeah, no, this one was dumb. This was I put this as awful, even because like again somebody who they thought like they wanted to make a star. Like this was a one of the like teas because he's cashed it. Didn't he cash it on the U.S. title in the end?
I
And ended up,
think that's what I was zooming in about. It's like, is that the U.S. title? I remember something about it, but
I think
I
he
don't think I
constantly
was
got
watching.
stopped. He was one of those that constantly like was going to cash in but got knocked out before he had the chance to cash in.
Yeah,
Like
like
that.
Brock or Roman would like grab the briefcase and just like yeet it across
Yeah,
the arena.
yeah. I like it was a weird thing for him to cash her in on like a United States or like the title, the whole thing. This is like Otis, where like again they trying to do something by making a star, but the whole thing was fumbled. Like throughout, they made Austin Theory look stupid, and and like only now is he starting to recover from that. But even then, like it was just nothing for me. Like I didn't like that he won the briefcase and he didn't do anything with it.
Maggie's been given the link.
Oh
Maggie,
shit! We hit at
I'm
the
not
same
touching buttons.
What are you guys moping about?
time.
Moping. I'm happy to see you.
How are you guys? The
Good, and you?
bunny. Hi, bunny.
I don't know who that is.
I know you know.
That's an
You know.
entirely different person.
Let's be honest
Who-
here, guys. I only have 8 minutes, okay? Because I have another show that I have to be on.
Okay.
What are you guys up to? I agree on all the excellent ones.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Because like
I'm
I
just,
can
like-
see them better now than I can see them on the YouTube link. Yes.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins are my favorite. Are two of my favorite ones. Why is Alexa Bliss cashing in on Ronda Rousey on awful? No, bad. Why? I don't remember that, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, that's I mean, like that's kind of where a lot of the ones that we're forgetting about kind of land. Like the excellent
Okay.
tier from our discussion has kind of like been the ones that are memorable, because
course.
of like
Yeah.
XYZ reasons and had dynamic. But a lot of these, like I keep saying paint by numbers, and a lot of it's so very true. Like all these cash-ins, they just kind of look alike. There's not a lot that makes them different. Like, yes, it's cool to see some of these people succeed. Like it was awesome to see Alexa Bliss as champion, but the circumstances surrounding the cash, and I'm like, what exactly happened? I'm trying to figure it out and remember it. It's like it kind
In
of slipped.
terms of Alexa, I'm sorry for cutting you off. In terms of Alexa, I remember her winning, but like the Money in the Bank briefcase, but I remember nothing else. I just remember her winning and that's why I'm asking. Alberto Del Rio, I hated that.
Yeah, a lot of these are awful.
I really hated that. The Brock Lesnar, the Beast in the Bank was him in the boombox. That is the only thing I remember from that. Nikki Cross is such an unfortunate thing because they themselves forget that she was ever champion. She had no merch. as champion,
Yeah.
and that was such a bummer because everyone loved Nikki Cross. Um, everything else. I forgot Sheamus was Money in a Bank winner. Baron Corbin, I remember because I kind of feel like he did something that angered management on Twitter, and that's why they made him cash in unsuccessfully. That may be not true, but this is the way I remember it back in the day when I didn't have social media,
I
and
think I
they
recall
said
that.
so. They said so on Wrestle Talk, so I just assumed they were right. Yeah. So yeah. Otherwise, yes. But Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins cash in is the thing that kind of saved that WrestleMania for me. And him, spinning it around the title, and I was like, there you go, just like in NXT. That was
Iconic
great.
moment. I
Yeah.
remember him tweeting earlier that day, like, I am the light at the end of the tunnel or something to that effect, because,
Yeah.
people were kind of humming and hawing about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
For yet another time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Which two are the ones that are left? I cannot see. Oh,
The latest, we've
the-
got Io Sky cashing in at
Mhm.
SummerSlam,
and Damian Priest.
and Damian Priest. So let's start with Io. I'd say this one is good because it also
It's a
really
good-
informed the damage control
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Did you put Asuka there because of the wonderful moment that she experienced
Yeah.
with Becky? Yeah, I
That
put
was
it there.
very
Just
sweet.
like-
Yeah,
Very sweet. Yeah.
Because that was definitely like one that was, because of the circumstances, she lost the ability to cash it in, and
Yeah.
like it was a like quick fix to a problem, and it was like a very, very sweet, honest moment of like Asuka legitimately being shocked on camera.
It was
Yeah.
incredible. I kind of wished it was in front of a crowd. I really
Yeah.
did.
right.
Yeah.
So many of those pandemic moments that would have just really went home with the crowd, like Otis
Yeah.
and Mandy. I think that was another one.
Yeah, of course. The Damian Priest one,
And-
I kind of feel because of everything that happened with it, because you can't possibly look at the Damian Priest cash in without everything else that happened in there. So it's
Yeah.
between good and excellent for me. I don't know. I'm biased, but probably good because I love Drew McIntyre so much, and that's probably the only reason I'm not putting it on excellent. Also, it's Punk.
Yeah.
So, and because of Punk, it has to be excellent, right? Because everything that he's involved in is kind of, I don't know. You guys decide.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like up until that WrestleMania moment, had he not done it at Mania, he would have just looked foolish because he passed up several empty nets of like the champions being down, and it was like the most frustrating thing. And like you have the perfect opportunity and you just didn't, and it just kind of made him look foolish. And to
Exactly.
do it, and to finally do it at a big moment, and like I really ended up like liking it, and it also did what the Money in the Bank is supposed to do, which is make a star. Like kill the
Exactly.
big face.
Exactly. Guys, I hate to hop off and on so
Yeah.
incredibly quick. I had to hop on Fightful Select right now. Thank you so much for having me on. Please text me every time you have brunch and you need me here, because usually
Yes.
this time on Sunday I'm free. So let's make brunch together. Let's see Chips on the show again.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Because
will
I
write this
kind of
one.
I kind of feel like Pluggo needs to. Maybe Pluggo's wife can eat chips on our show and he can clean it up afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
The poor woman. Okay, guys, I love you. Have a wonderful
Maggie.
show.
Thank you for
Thanks,
calling.
Maggie. Great seeing you. All right, so we're gonna place this one. I'm compelled by excellent, but ultimately Damian Priest. I almost called him Damian Sandow.
Yeah. Oh god.
I think
What
I'm
if-
giving it a good. Because yes, it was a good cash in, but to me, it was still second string. It was still Drew McIntyre being defeated by his own hubris
Yeah.
with the whole Punk situation. Like,
Yeah, I
again, it
agree.
was
I'll
still,
put it as good.
yeah, good, but yeah, I do appreciate those who see it as excellent, but I gotta call it this. Lawrence, I'm going to be honest, my friend. I did not
Yeah.
expect the tier list to go
Yeah,
this
no, it's all
long.
good.
I don't know what your schedule is, but perhaps we belay watching this match to another week.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I do want to apologize to everyone who tuned in, but I also invite you to check out that match. We were going to watch Zoe Sager take on Giselle Shaw from LPW9, Mark Among Us. The match is freely available on our YouTube channel, so if you were looking forward to watching that, please go ahead and do so. You're gonna get better commentary than myself and Lawrence on the match anyway with Big Bad Boris. So yeah, I think we're gonna close it out here. I've got a screenshot of the tier. Let us know what you think of our tier list of Money in the Bank cash-ins. And I'm gonna actually update some of these thumbnails so I use the correct information, like Brock Lesnar cashing in on Seth Rollins. Cool. Other than that, Lawrence, what are you up to this week?
Oh boy, howdy, are we busy this week? We are going to be doing a lot of, as you know, the Love Wrestling crew is heading to Toronto for Money in the Bank. All of us are going to be spreading out during that event, shooting a bunch of content, a bunch of stuff for the YouTube for you guys to look out for. Holy shit! Fuck me! Oh my god, I watched that on camera. England just tied Slovakia with literally a minute and 30 seconds left in injury time.
Oh my goodness.
And they did it with like a scissor kick.
Wait, like the Booker T? Like he dropped him?
Yeah, like boop, boop, boop.
Oh, marvelous.
Oh man, that sucks for Slovakia, man. That was a cool goal.
But indeed, yeah, if you're in Toronto for Money in the Bank, please be sure to join us for the pub crawl. Again, we're partying with Jody Threat. We're going from bar to bar to bar, all the way to the Scotiabank Arena in time for the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So thank you very much for joining us on this here podcast, this stream here. And Lawrence, I will see you in Toronto.
I will see you in Toronto, my friend. We're gonna have a great time. Again, everyone check out our YouTube. We're gonna have a lot of stuff going up around that weekend. There's gonna be a lot of fun interview content throughout the whole weekend. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Be sure if you're in the Toronto area and you want to buy a ticket to the pub crawl, it's tixr.com/love wrestling.
Correct. Tixr.com/love wrestling.
Come hang out with us. We're gonna have a great time. Come hang out with Jody Threat. You can see us at the GCW show. It's gonna be me and Mike, at least, that are gonna be there. We're gonna be all around town having a great time. So please come say hi.
Please come say hi, indeed. Till the next episode of the Brunch Gimmick. We'll see what's happening next Sunday, perhaps live from Toronto, but perhaps other plans. Stay in touch. Yeah. Follow at Love Wrestling CA on every social media platform you can think of, and we will be back when we're back. Till then, friends. Oh, this video, I thought it had music. Oh, well.